Sully, it's not a happy anniversary tomorrow. No one's celebrating it. It's a very sad anniversary. And it's funny, there's certain times in your life where you know where you're at when you hear the bad news about somebody's passing. And tomorrow marks the passing of one of the iconic players in the NBA of all time. And it's Kobe Bryant. And I know you have met Kobe and you're a huge fan of his. And I just want to get your thoughts and comments of Kobe and his career right now.
Well, it's hard to believe that it's been a year since the untimely death of Kobe and everyone that was in that helicopter. I do remember where I was that day. I had actually played ball that morning, and I played with a group of guys. This was before COVID, and we hadn't played in about a month and a half, and that was our first time getting together. And some of the guys that I played with coach girls teams and were headed to the Mamba Center later that day. So we were all really excited to be playing and, to have that camaraderie. And I remember leaving the gym and finding out shortly thereafter. And it was just one of those things that was just, it stunned you. It was so out of left field and really in some ways set the tone for what turned into a horrific 2020. Kobe was a part of, the fabric of LA because we watched him from the very beginning. Like, I went to those games back in the day when he was shooting those air balls. So to see him go from that point to winning 5 championships and becoming an icon and really scoring 81 points. I saw a lot of those 60, 70 point games. Kobe and Vanessa came to the Improv one night on a team tour night, by the way, and sat in the back and watched a show. So, Kobe's been a part of, I think, everyone's life. When he passed away, I went to the memorial at Staples Center with my son. And we left a pair of shoes in memory and as a means of saying thank you to Kobe and Gigi. You really saw the city was suffering and people really love Kobe in a way where he's like a family member. I have a great story, an upbeat story, just to, speak about Kobe's greatness. I happened to be at a Christmas party and Kobe showed up to this Christmas party. And it was the night after he hit that glass 3 over Dwayne.
I remember that very well.
Yes. It was unreal. Closed out the game with a 3-point shot. That was an unbelievable shot from the top of the key that went glass, game, Lakers win. Kobe's a hero, right? So this Christmas party, Kobe shows up with Vanessa. And, I thought, okay, this dude is coming off a game winner. He's going to be kind of cocky. He's going to be full on Mamba.
Right.
He couldn't have been any cooler, right? At one point, my son is in the game room of this party and everybody is clamoring for the video games, right? He waits his turn. He was a little guy at the time. He finally gets on the video game. Kobe comes into the room with all these kids, and this is a perfect opportunity to take a picture, my son and Kobe. He's going to have this forever. My son had waited so long to play this video game that's all he cared about. Look at this picture right here. You can't see the controller, but he's like, look at the kid right here. This kid's like, are you done yet? Kobe's posing for a picture and my son could not be interested, right? Once in a lifetime moment, Kobe was so cool and gracious. He took a second picture where I made my son pay attention. I'm like, dude, this is Kobe Bean Bryant. Get off the video game and take this picture with this great player.
That's great. And look at the necklace he's wearing.
Yeah, that diamond necklace was pretty fat. I was like, damn, I got the fake one. I don't have the real one. I got the. No, it's a great after story. That day, I got the swap meet version. My quick story. It's not as good as yours. I remember the day he
he passed, and I was at home, and I was on TMZ for some reason, and they were the first ones to say he died, and
yes.
And no one else picked it up. I was like going to every news channel. I was going to CNN. I was going to MSNBC. I was going to Fox. I was going all over the place. At local stations, they were doing the morning Saturday. Nothing was going on. Finally, at 11:22, I remember the time. Channel 5 came out and said there's been an accident, and Kobe Bryant is no longer with us. Yes. And it took so long for people to confirm it because they were afraid. They didn't know it was a true story. The only one that came out with it was TMZ. Yes. And I remember I was just like, my son actually was working for the publicity company that rep Kobe Bryant. He started the week before, and he was like, he talked to Kobe the day before about something. Wow. And he was like totally crushed. And it was like, I just remember it was just the whole city.
It was a tragic day.
It was one of the worst days, I think, in LA history.
Yeah, it was almost like time had stopped, and I think as a city, we were all collectively mourning.
Yeah, I agree. But the best way we can remember him is telling these stories and enlightening people of his presence and letting people know how much he meant to you or the city and how he changed people's lives. This is how we should remember him. I'm happy we're talking about it.